I'm here with Marc of Caliban to talk about Dystopia, out April 22nd on Century Media. How are you doing today?
I'm great. Hope you too.
I'm doing wonderful. I have you on the channel. We're going to talk Caliban. We're going to talk Dystopia. So I couldn't be any better.
Cool. Yeah, let's go.
So 13th record. Are you guys superstitious?
No, actually. But actually, I didn't even know it's the 13th album until some other journalist was making a comment about it, because we didn't count really.
Now, 13 albums, a lot has happened from the beginning all the way until now. What do you see the biggest growth from Caliban as a band when you look at that debut record and you look at now Dystopia?
I mean, from the very beginning until now, of course, better musicianship. I mean, if you don't grow over this period of time in your musicianship, writing skills and stuff like that, it would be pretty sad. But I don't know, we are not so crazy serious about every detail anymore. I mean, of course, we are focusing a lot more and work more efficient and try to, but in general, we see a couple things sometimes a bit more relaxed, not so stressed that in the past, because there's always a way to fix everything. It's not, sometimes in the past you get like you freak out or you panic because of something that is not really the case anymore.
What was the main goal, or what is the main message that you guys want to put forward with Dystopia?
That is hard to say. I mean, the lyrics our singer wrote mostly, and I would say because he's really sensitive to his surroundings. He gets affected what's going on around him, and since all this COVID lockdown and stuff like that, it wasn't the easiest time for him. I mean, for a lot of people probably, but for him especially, I would say. We had a couple talks sometimes, and he said that it is not so easy for him, and yeah, he transmits that in the lyrics, obviously, all the time. But we always have some kind of a twist in the lyrics, that there's always a way out, and always like there's never lose hope somehow, like even if he talks about a bad thing, about something bad what happened to him, there are always some kind of like solutions and stuff like that in there, that it's not too dark. The new album is pretty darker than the previous ones, probably music wise and lyric wise, but we always try to be not too depressive somehow.
It's dark, but there's like a faint light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we try.
Do you guys creatively build a record thinking of what the final overall product is going to be, or do you guys concentrate more on the individual songs, and then once you have a few of them together, then you start to try to create some shapes in terms of what the whole record is going to be about?
Yeah, somehow. I mean, what we try is, what I had in mind with this album is that I wanted to combine the latest 2, 3, 4 albums and the very, very early Caliban stuff. So this is why it is a bit more rough, edgy in some ways, and kept also this kind of atmospheric and vibe from the last albums, from I'm Nemesis until Elements. And this was like my overall theme somehow, that I wanted to combine this a bit, get a bit more down to earth, a bit more heaviness, dirtiness somehow. This is why the album is also a bit more roughly mixed somehow. I mean, it has punch, it has a lot of low end, and it's pretty fat somehow, but it is still not too over polished and too clean. We wanted a bit of this kind of roughness vibe on it.
Is that an easy thing to achieve then? Because I felt like the album had that aggression, it had that punch to it, but it's not a record that also, because of that, makes it difficult for the listener to kind of digest each song. It's an album that flows really well. You connect really well with it. So is that middle ground easy to achieve?
No, it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. It was a long process, and it was good that we had somehow more time. So if you want, the COVID was actually extending that time. I mean, we wanted to extend the time anyways. So usually we have an album out every roughly 2 years. we wanted with Dystopia to extend it to 3. We wanted to take some time off, and then it got, because of that, longer. So it was taking 4 years. So we were actually really focusing on everything, took our time and listened back and forth, and changed. Sometimes we left songs and changed them a bit later. Again, for example, we put out this Zeitgeister, this EP of this rearranged old stuff. So we were going anyway, so through our back catalog. And then I actually went back to the songs we had already for Dystopia and even made more changes because of that kind of vibe we were into. And then afterwards, we finished the last couple of 4 songs for Dystopia. So yeah, I don't know if this is something you have to do, but this is something we felt like doing. I don't know.
Having more time, it allow you to get deeper into the weeds and a little bit deeper into your own head. Do you feel that way?
To be honest, I was actually, when it was done, I was really relieved, because it was really somehow, I don't want to say stressful, but because we had some recording differences to the past because of this COVID situation, which was really extending it more than it actually needed to be, let's say that. And because we couldn't be all in the same room sometimes, and all that stuff, we had to do some stuff through the internet, and that was at some point getting really frustrating.
Everybody, at least everybody that I talk to, when you're listening to an album from start to finish, you try to find what that red line is that connects the album, so that you as a listener can also find your way through the record a lot better. What is the red line on Dystopia?
That's really hard to say. Like like I said, it's probably this kind of roughness, this edginess a bit more. And I mean, we are actually having 2 songs on the album which break out from this red line a bit, but that is somehow on purpose. You know, that is Alien, and this is, what is the other song? I'm very bad with names of songs. This quiet song, I forgot it. What is it again? Hibernate. These 2 songs really stick out from the album, I think, because they're very, very different. Hibernate is very quiet, and Alien is also melodic, but also heavy, a bit different direction. And because usually we tend to have like the same kind of heaviness in each song somehow, and have maybe one song which is a bit more soft or something. But this time I didn't want it to be all on one level. So I was like trying to really break out in different directions in between. So these 2 songs really break this kind of red line, and the rest, like I said, it's probably this kind of, it's more the heaviness somehow, the dark vibe is probably the red line to me, at least.
I asked you earlier about the growth of the band, but I want to ask you about your own personal growth. What do you see as the thing that within you as a musician has developed the most across these 13 records?
That is a tough question. For me, musical wise, nothing really changed as much, because the instrumental part was written as it always was written, because I have my own recording studio. I sit down, write songs, send them over to the members, and also our producer, co-producer. You know, we are always producing as a team, and then we figure out where we go from there. So this didn't really change, this kind of part. And it's just that I took more time. But in general, for me, this kind of 13th album, I would say musician-wise, didn't change much.
Do you create a vision board for yourself in terms of what do you want the guitar sound to be on a record? Do you put some ideas down and
Yeah.
then use those as kind of your guidelines as you start to work on these tracks?
I don't use it as a guideline somehow, but actually I really had a vision of the album should sound in the very beginning. And I brought this kind of this direction of sound. I brought it on the way on the Zeitgeister already, because that was done in between the writing process of Dystopia. So I was trying a couple things out, showed it to the guys and said, here, this is somehow how I should think Dystopia should sound, just a bit different, but this direction. And we all were very happy with the Zeitgeister, and I took it a step further with the Dystopia. And yeah, this kind of vision of sound I always had in mind, especially the guitar tone and the drum tone was really something I worked on for quite a while. So the settings for the guitar sound and the drum sound I made probably almost a year ago already.
How was the reaction from the guys when that was the approach that you put forward?
They really liked it. I mean, yeah, I mean, I got only positive feedback. I mean, there, of course, we changed a little bit, you know, here and there, because one guy said maybe the bass tone could be a bit more sharp here or less sharp there, or can you add something here to the cymbals or something like that, like tiny details, you know. But the overall sound, which for the audience somehow I think is not notable changes what we did afterwards. And of course, you never can please everyone with the album. When we put the album out, there are going to be some people say, oh, this is not produced enough, you know, and then some others say, oh, it's overproduced, you know. Like, for example, we had this album out, the Ghost Empire, and then some people said it's overproduced, it's too plastic, it's kind of blah blah blah, because it's so thick and clean and heavy and stuff like that. And the people who liked the production of Ghost Empire will probably say about Dystopia, it's a bit too rough, it's too edgy, it's not too produced enough, you know. So the others will like, so that you will never please anyone. But we want to, first of all, please ourselves, because we have to like the album, we have to be proud of it, we have to enjoy how it came out. So what's the point to have it sounding in a way which most people like, but we are not happy with, you know.
I know, and you have to play the songs live too. So it's,
yeah,
you know, it's going to be part of the history of who you are as a band. So you have to be the first ones to be pleased with it.
Yeah,
you know.
that is.
When you mentioned the lyrics earlier, said that Andy is the man behind the lyrics. Now, when he's putting the lyrics together for an album like this, is there an impact that the lyrics have in how you guys modify some of these tracks in order for that message that's in the lyrics to fit better with the sound? How does that process work?
Usually he's waiting for the songs to be finished, at least roughly finished, like 80-90%. Then I send it over to him. Then he starts putting the basic theme to the vibe. He's trying to match the topic of the lyrics to the vibe of the song. And then afterwards, we are trying to match the patterns, the rhythms to the music. It's not, he's writing to the music. It's not like that he has like finished lyrics, then comes to the studio and then it doesn't match, that doesn't fit, too long, too short and stuff like that, you know. There's always he writes down a couple sentences which match to the topic and ideas and stuff like that, roughly ideas, and then we sit down and we try to match the words, the length and the patterns and stuff like that, and then write down the final lyrics. So this is usually how we work. That is somehow what we think is most efficient somehow, you know. And because sometimes in the past when we did it differently, and many albums back, you know, I had a finished song, he had finished lyrics, and we tried to match it, and it sometimes was a bit like, I don't know, it wasn't really matching. And then there were, in some verses were a bit too many words, and then some parts were a bit empty and stuff like that. And then we were afterwards, a couple of months later, we were listening to it, that we could have done that better, we should try to change that in the future somehow. And then and then we did, you know, like, then we tried to really match the patterns on the breakdowns and the verse, the drums, that the lyrics, the patterns of the vocals fit to the drums and stuff like that. I think that is, for us at least, really important.
You mentioned just a few minutes ago that it's hard to please everybody, and I have to ask you this question. When it comes to doing Caliban songs in English or German, where do you stand?
What? Sorry, if we do German and English lyrics.
When it comes to having songs from Caliban with English, you know, lyrics and singing in English versus German lyrics and singing in German, where do you stand as far as your comfort? Which side of the scale does it tip more for you?
It's definitely easier for us to sing in English, even if we are a German band. Like, Andy wasn't really feeling comfortable at all in the past singing German. That started only when we did the Rammstein cover track. Then he had to sing German, and then it was recorded, and we said, oh, it sounds great. And he always said, oh, it sounds stupid in German. Whoa. He never wanted that, you know. And actually to write the lyrics in German, as far as I understood, is definitely more difficult, because lots of things, when you translate them, at least from German, sound much more cheesy somehow, and you really can't say that in German the same way. And this is also why we didn't one-to-one translated the Zeitgeist, the lyrics, because these were originally English songs, and we translated them to German, but that didn't work at all. That didn't work at all. So we actually wrote new lyrics from the same topic the English lyrics were, you know, so, but completely different words, because, yeah, and he said that to put together like a German lyric, to put together German lyrics for a song is taking him much more time, actually. So more comfortable is for him, or for us probably, and easy is for us definitely the English way.
Been doing it for a long time, it starts to become part of your DNA, you know.
Yeah, I mean, some people were afraid that because of the Zeitgeist that we switch completely to German. That was never the plan, you know.
But it was
For us,
amazing, by the way. I really enjoyed the German side of Caliban. So, and I
yeah,
know I'm not alone.
yeah, I mean, we liked it, but it was maybe for some people strange that suddenly everything is German, you know, and that is why we never intended to have like a full new album with new songs, all German, you know. We said we do some special. Actually, the Zeitgeist was supposed to be an add-on, maybe a second disc or something for Dystopia, but then the Dystopia got delayed because of COVID. We couldn't tour and stuff like that, and we thought, what do we do? So we extended the song, the track list from Zeitgeist, and released it as an EP, because Zeitgeist was supposed to be having only 4 or 5 tracks as a maybe second CD special version of Dystopia. And then we thought, now we can't release Dystopia right now, and blah, blah, blah. So what do we do? So write more, you know, and then it became an 8-track EP. And yeah, and then some people were, oh, why do you switch to German now? It's like, we don't switch. For us, it was always something we wanted to do. That was like a project, because we liked the German songs, and then we wanted to do some special thing. But yeah, for us, it's never an option to fully make a German album, you know, because we started as an English band. Most fans got to know us as an English band, and we don't tour just Germany, Austria, and Switzerland. And of course, you could say Rammstein is also German, but they started German, you know. It's like the people, even in America or Canada, they got to know Rammstein with German lyrics and not English, and then suddenly switching, you know. That I think we thought is odd. Then we would find probably a new band name or something, you know. But so we wanted to stick what we were used to do, and like I said, he feels also more comfortable with it, anyways.
I have one last question for you, and I want to make this a fun question for you.
Okay.
Because you know, I've been listening to a lot of bands from Germany, metalcore bands, deathcore bands, and I feel like you guys need to bring something to the table to that nobody's doing outside, or nobody's ever done. Everybody knows about the blah and the go when the song is about to get heavy before a breakdown, all of that. What about including some German lingo in it, like a Schnell or a Das Blah?
That would be fun. That's maybe an idea for the upcoming album. Didn't we do that on the Zeitgeist at some point?
I don't think you did a Schnell there. I would have
Yeah, no, definitely not Schnell.
I would have been all over it. I would have been all over it. But I think there's a German band out there. Maybe it's Caliban. You guys need to do something crazy like that. I think would be absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, maybe we do that. That's a good idea. That's actually fun.
I'm glad. I've been trying to sell it. You know, I've been trying to sell it to the guys of Any Given Day. I've been trying to sell it to Electric Callboy. I've been trying to sell it to everybody. So maybe Caliban is the right fit.
Maybe, yeah. Because I mean, Any Given Day had never anything in German, I think, and Heaven Shall Burn neither. Electric Callboy also neither. So yeah, maybe it's us. Next time.
Maybe for a future record, a future EP. Yeah. Who knows?
Maybe.
All right, Marc, thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you
for indulging me in my stupidity with my joke there at the end. Thank you for taking the time. It was an absolute pleasure to talk to you about the record. Best of luck with the release. Say hi to everybody for me, and I'll see you on the road at some point in time.
I hope so. Thank you very much.
Take care, man. All the best.
Yesterday.
All right, take care, man. Bye.
Bye.